When asked to move to St. Louis, Missouri and pastor there, he took up the challenge and while there, made himself a willing helper with the congregation, deciding to relocate and build a new church. During those stressful months of the building project, he committed himself and his resources to the task at hand. That's the way he spent his life, helping out and being available. When the church was completed, he said that every Sunday morning, when the sun was shining through the windows in the sanctuary, it was like being a candidate for the glory of the Lord that he felt.
In 1997, he was asked to transfer to Minneapolis to pastor there. It was a dramatic change for him. The congregation was very small and had no other preacher to back him up. In St. Louis, there had been 5 other preachers. At times, he felt overwhelmed, but his commitment was always to do his best for the Lord, no matter what. He learned to be thankful for the beauty of the sun shining through the beautiful stained glass windows in the sanctuary there, too. The Lord helped him, and the congregation slowly began to grow. Alan had a way of making people feel significant. He was a great listener. When he gave advice, he did it in a straightforward manner without preaching, just the facts. It didn't always seem like advice, it was just facts. He often would say, just do what you gotta do. He seemed able to cast his cares on the Lord. In August 2000, he was suddenly stricken by a ruptured aortic aneurysm which nearly took his life. The Lord spared him and he made remarkable recovery. In November 2001, he married Dixie and moved her from Portland, Oregon to Minneapolis. Dixie was able to serve as pastor's wife for 3.5 years. Again, there was love and laughter in his home. Sometimes he would say, in wonder, so blessed to have such a wonderful second marriage. In June 2005, he retired at the age of 75, and shortly thereafter experienced a second ruptured aorta. The Lord again spared him, and he spent 9 more years in Minnesota assisting in the church as long as his strength would allow. After Alan's retirement, he and Dixie took many trips by car. They traveled to Portland camp meeting every year through 2013. They visited friends and relatives before and after camp, sometimes making a circle to the south and ending up at the Midwest camp meeting. In September 2014, he and Dixie moved to Medford, Oregon. After being here for a few weeks, he testified in church, "I feel like I've come to Beulah land," referring to the place of rest described in Pilgrim's Progress. In Medford, Alan's health failed rapidly under the onslaught of bacterial infection and congestive heart failure. On September 10, 2015, he quietly slipped out of his worn and tired body and crossed over into eternity. Now he is with the Lord he loved and served so many years. Many thanks to all those who have loved and prayed for him and his family. Sure, the notes in the right order here. It's a lot to read in case you read it very much. My notes, Brother Larry has some notes to read too, that are memories that some of the Midwest pastors had at Brother Allen. I pastored in the Midwest as well. So we all had many times, Valerie and I, Brother Gary and Bourbon, and Connie and Alan, we would get together at various times, Branson, Missouri, Kansas City, and then there was all the special meetings in between, and then later the Midwest meetings, midwinter meetings, they were called. That kind of came about in Connie and Alan's house when they were in Kansas City. I was going to mention that. What happened was we just suggested, it'd be nice if we could get together. The Midwest churches are far from each other. And so the idea was formulated that we would get together every year, President's Day weekend, and everybody would know. It was like about halfway between Midwest camp and the rest of the year. And so we would all get together. And it turned out to be a great time. Everybody would come from Midwest churches. Most everybody actually would come and spend a weekend there. And then we actually started out with a pastor's conference on the following Monday, but we were so tired out, that ended right away. The first time around, we decided we got to do that at a different time. But we had a great time. They rent motels there, the different ones, and the kids and the adults, and some would swim. But they had great times at the meetings. The meetings were held at the church, and we just packed that building full, and it was wonderful. Of course, Brother Allen was running around trying to tie up all the loose ends, which he usually did. I was going to mention the fact that Brother Allen was a great procrastinator. But he mastered it. He mastered procrastination beyond anything I've ever seen. He actually was good at his procrastination in that prayer was more important than anything else. Everything, every day, every event started with prayer. We would always have time, maybe some of us would be waiting for Brother Allen, but that was the point. There was prayer time, Bible reading time, devotion time that always circumvented everything. And so he definitely was a man of prayer and a man of God as a result of that. One other thing that I wanted to mention, and we could write a book. Between all the people here, we could write a book about Brother Allen. Maybe this is our book. The Midwest did not have a youth camp. So one time, happened to be that Valerie and myself and Connie and Al, we went to Roaring River State Park, Missouri. It's in the southwestern part of the state, and we had a cabin there. I remember Connie made those little chickens, those little things, those little tiny chickens. Each got their own chicken. I guess it was a chicken. Anyway, I think it was a turkey. I think it was a little chicken. And we had them in the cabin. I remember eating that. I remember the food. And then what we were doing, investigating Roaring River State Park to see if that could be the location for a youth camp around 1984, I think it was. And as a result, that was the beginnings at that particular time of the youth camp. They didn't always stay at Roaring River. The kids always liked Roaring River. They always had better preferences for Roaring River than I think any other camp location that they ever came up with. But that was just one thing. Brother Allen was involved. He was definitely involved. He may have put some of us waiting for him at times, but he just was a plodder, you know. To get the job done, it just took a little bit longer than you'd like for it to take. And that's just part of what we're going to